Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Japan Gold presentation here at the 2024 Pre-PDAC Red Cloud Conference. So I'm happy to be here and to speak with you today. What I wanted to cover today was, again, a little bit of a review of Japan Gold's dominant position in the country, and then to zero from the countrywide exposure right down to the activities that we're undertaking with our partner Barrick and directly ourselves. And probably most importantly, I have two special announcements to make that have been news released yesterday and today that I'd like to touch on as I go through my remarks. I will be making some forward-looking statements, so please consider this slide. Japan, without a doubt, has a rich history of high-grade gold mining, and it's been for over 500 years. Now, that was interrupted in 1943 by the Second World War and a government moratorium. And really, it's been a very slow period since that time, with only a few mines opened. In 1981, that's when the remarkable Hishikari gold mine was discovered and went into production in 1985. And this gold mine, the Hishikari gold mine, is a very important note for Japan to underscore the prospectivity in the country, because it's now a 13 million ounce ore body. Sumitomo Metal Mining has mined over 8.5 million ounces of gold. And the remaining resources continue to be expanded every year. So it's really a remarkable discovery and mine, and it's the only continuously operating or only operating mine in Japan today. So the first thing I wanted to do in the macro scale was to look at Japan, and the yellow ovals, or the gold ovals, highlighted the 5 gold districts in Japan. And you can see they're dispersed across the country, from 2 of them in the northern island of Hokkaido, 1 on the western side of the large central island of Honshu, and 2 in the southern island of Kyushu. Japan Gold has a significant portfolio, and our portfolio of gold projects, there's 35 gold projects. Those 35 gold projects are dominating all 5 of the major gold provinces. Now, we have a countrywide alliance with Barrick Gold Corporation, and over a 2.5-year period, Barrick screened the vast majority of our project portfolio, and they identified 6 projects that they felt had the potential to host a Tier 1 or Tier 2 ore body. And we've highlighted where those projects are located. 2 are up in Hokkaido, and actually the third one is there as well, but it's not getting the focus right at this time. 1 is on the west side of Honshu, and then 2 are in southern Kyushu, either side of the Hishikari gold mine. And so just to touch on the Barrick Alliance projects in a little bit more detail, and I see that this is an older presentation of ours, so it doesn't have quite the detail that I wanted to impart on you today. But in the southern island of Kyushu is the Mizobe project. And so that's where we made an announcement this morning of the results of our 4th quarter 2023 drilling there, where we did a second phase of drilling at the Mizobe project. And what we identified was a much expanding alteration footprint, a very large hydrothermal area that's now spanning 2.5 kilometers by 1.5 kilometers. Our teams, the Japan Gold and the Barrick team, are very enthusiastic about this area. And as a matter of fact, Barrick has just completed their 8th visit to Japan in this past year, and is really focused in on these important projects. We're now looking forward to expanding our drilling there. We have more advanced geophysics that are going to come in, and we're really just touching the top of this system. So where the grades have been fairly low, we have been seeing initial intervals of up to 144 meters, which really, again, continues to demonstrate the size and the scale of this project. Just north of the Mizobe project, we have a second project called Abino, which is directly north of the Hishikari gold mine. And that's getting further Barrick attention now as we design a drill program there. As we move further up Japan, we move to our Togi project, which is the project that is on the west side of Honshu. Now, the Togi project is an area that is 8 kilometers long. It's a trend that has 2 historical mines, and we've done significant work there and are finalizing our drilling programs there with advanced geophysics. Unfortunately, on the 1st of January this year, there was an earthquake in that area, which has disrupted activities. And so we're working very closely with local authorities to resume our activities in that area later this year. We then move further up to the northern island of Hokkaido, and we have 2 projects there. The Aibetsu project now has been expanded to 4 kilometers by 5 kilometers, an enormous alteration system. We've had large work programs there this past year in very difficult terrain because we're at a little bit higher elevation at about 1,000 feet there. But in any event, we are now designing drill programs there and looking forward to advancing that with Barrick further on in this year. And finally, the Hakuryu project is one of the projects that we haven't spent as much time on now, but we are finding very positive results there, and so we're continuing along with geophysics in advance of drilling programs. So the point with Barrick is that we are very, very actively engaged with our Barrick partner. We communicate once a week in very detailed technical sessions, and as I mentioned, there's been 8 trips to Japan in the last year. Now we move on to the Japan gold prospects and projects. So with our projects, we have a large portfolio of projects, but we've focused in on a handful of those projects that we feel are prospective and where we've been able to make early advances. You can see 2 of our projects are in the southern island of Kyushu and 2 are up in the gold provinces, actually 3 are, up in the gold provinces, up in, or gold districts in Hokkaido. To touch on those projects just a little bit more, you can see that there are 4 projects listed here that are getting a lot of our attention. There's actually 5 projects, including Sanru. But moving on from there, we have that large portfolio, that vast portfolio of projects that has not been publicized so much currently, but we do have ongoing interest from external third parties who are quite actively interested in getting into Japan and see the merits of our portfolio. So to just move into a little bit more detail on our projects, the Akutahara project is our most advanced project in Japan. We have 3 significant prospects in that project, and we've spent approximately $18 million on this project to date. So that means that we've done all the work, the mapping, the geology, the geophysics, the geochemistry, and now significant scout drilling to advance these prospects. And what we're finding now with our prospects is that we're able to not only delineate the core areas, but we're using geophysics and larger soil sampling programs to expand these areas. So at the Rio prospect, as an example, we've drilled 20 drill holes along a kilometer. We've had very, very positive results, including large intersections and ultra-high grade gold. Our geophysics and our soil sampling have now expanded those areas quite substantially at the Rio prospect. Moving down this map that you see, or the sketch you see on your slide, we've got the Kitano, Akutahara, and Showa area, which is a 2.5 kilometer north to south trend of multiple prospects. There's been significant high grade, albeit fairly limited production in these areas historically up till the moratorium in 1943. And so again, we're using advanced geophysics to design our drill projects there, or our drill targets there. And then finally, moving down to the Soroma-Jomon corridor, this is an area that we're very happy that we've now expanded from a 3.5 kilometer long corridor to now a 9 kilometer long corridor. We've used initial scout drilling that has identified multiple vein systems, and not only gold, but ultra-high grade silver as well. We also have other projects that were highlighted on the map. And again, all of these we're advancing with geophysics, advanced geophysics and drill targeting, putting those into our models and moving forward with our drilling programs. The key thing here is that when you have a large portfolio, we've been able to distill this down into a smaller group of projects, and our whole goal is to accelerate these as quickly as possible to commence our drilling programs there. So with regard to the structure of our company, currently 60% of our shares are held by large institutions. In addition to that, Newmont holds a 9% equity stake. Management holds a 6% stake, and then the public float is 25%. Our market capitalization is approximately $23 million. When I talk about accelerating our programs, the second important announcement that I wanted to make was an announcement we made 2 days ago, which was the appointment of a president and chief operating officer, Fraser McCorkadale. Now, we're just delighted to have Fraser join Japan Gold. Many of you may have heard of Fraser or may know Fraser in his role as the head of global exploration for Newcrest. He's been in the space for 35 years. He's a global expert, certainly in our style of mineralization, and led the Newcrest discovery team to many important discoveries for Newcrest. The fact that he selected Japan Gold out of all the opportunities that he's had to move on is really remarkable, and it's really a testament to the scale of opportunities that exist in Japan, and really the fantastic technical work that our teams have done in the last number of years to get to this stage. So we welcome him as of the 1st of March, and those of you that will be attending the PDAC will get an opportunity to meet him there as well. So we look forward to that. We also have a very diversified board of directors, and we also have a significant set of advisors that are not only Japanese advisors, but also international experts, including Dr. Steve Garwin, who has helped us model and remodel a number of our prospects going forward. So why invest in Japan Gold? We're clearly the first mover into Japan following the change in the Mining Act in 2012 that allowed foreign companies to come into the country. This is a country with very low geopolitical risk, and that can't be underscored any more than in these kind of troubling times. Japan is really underexplored, and certainly with modern exploration methods, it's vastly underexplored. We have the largest portfolio in the country with approximately 3,000 square kilometers of prospecting rights applications and prospecting rights. And we dominate, as I demonstrated in the earlier slides, the major 5 gold districts. We have a management team with a proven track record. We have our strategic alliance with Barrick, and that's a very rare type of an alliance for them to screen that many projects and to give us the benefit of their insight and expertise. And finally, we've got significant industry and institutional shareholders that have de-risked this investment on behalf of other potential investors or existing investors and are supporting us as we go forward. So thank you for that, and I'll take any questions.